Looking at some of the Oscar nominations this year, it's just more risque topics that perhaps you might not want to watch with your family. Is this something you could?
Oh, this is absolutely a film that you can watch with your whole family. I think that there are some adult themes, meaning, alcoholism, for example, and depression and angers and things that younger kids wouldn't understand necessarily, might go over their head, but it's safe content as far as that's concerned. And listen, as far as the Oscars this year, there's always films that are more risque, and there ought to be, on some level, there ought to be films that are just for adults and just for kids and stuff that's for everything in between. I'm very proud of this film being something that I think is something that will resonate with so many people. And it does, it's not faith-based, but it's faith-infused. It really has a backbone in it that brings you on that journey, a recognition of God and the life that God's given you. I think it's really beautiful.
And that's the poster there that you see. Again, this film comes out this Friday, right? This is when they'll
comes out Friday, yeah, the 21st.
The 21st, so they'll be able to see that. I wanted to talk to you specifically about being a conservative actor in Hollywood. And you've been public about that, and you've shared a lot of your thoughts, albeit in interviews or maybe on social media, et cetera. What is that like, being a conservative or an outspoken conservative in a town like Hollywood?
I don't know. To be honest, I've never really categorized myself as a conservative as much as a libertarian. And as a libertarian, I have some very conservative viewpoints, and I also have some more liberal viewpoints. I try to find where God is leading me into the truth of every matter. And I think sometimes we have to be willing to challenge things that we thought we held so true for so long. And we go, maybe I can evolve in that. Maybe I can grow in that. Maybe that's not exactly the end all of whatever the truth is. But that has led me to being more conservative on a lot of topics compared to some of my friends within Hollywood. I would say for the most part, up until I came out of the political closet and was actually, stumping for Bobby Kennedy, and then Bobby led me to supporting President Trump, I've been more conservative about a lot of views, on set, off set, and a lot of my friends in Hollywood have been very kind, and we've been able to maintain a lot of friendship. I have lost some friends since I supported Donald Trump, and that's been disappointing, but I still love those people. I know that they're very fired up on their side because of a lot of the propagandizing and all of the things that the news, we all need to be very mindful about, and being, leading with not just logic. Like, I love that there's so much logic being applied to, adjusting certain departments and corruption and everything that's going on right now. But may we always balance that logic with empathy. May we always be able to see everyone through God's eyes as God's children with love. And so that's what I try to do. And I hope that people find that even if I might disagree with them on the political spectrum, I'm only trying to get us there.
Where do you think this viewpoint came from? Is this something you always held, or have you evolved over time?
You mean seeing everyone as a child of God? More
so seeing past the narrative that maybe mass media would like to push on you?
Sure. Listen, there's a lot of things that I credit my parents for. One of the biggest, and this might sound, I don't know, but one of the biggest is that they taught me and my sisters to always have a healthy level of distrust for your government and all major industry, because what is true is absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we have had a lot of unchecked power go toward our government and major industry for far too long. That creates the system that we're in right now. So I try to, whether it's a conservative government or a more liberal government, Democrats and Republicans alike, I try to hold them all to the same standards and recognize that there's corruption on both sides. There are really, really excellent leaders on both sides of the aisle that genuinely do want the same thing. They just think there's different ways of getting there, and that's where they disagree. But also on both sides, red and blue, there's a lot of corruption, and we got to get those people out of those jobs because they don't deserve to be there. They are not public servants. They think themselves above us. Good for thee, but not for me kind of stuff. Not on my watch. Not going to happen.
I love that we can have this complete 360 conversation about film, about faith, and then about what we've seen on television, and obviously
there's something deeper to these actors.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on?
We try.
I'm kidding. I love it. It's a creative spirit. Yeah, that can see beyond it.
All right, that is Zachary Levi promoting The Unbreakable Boy, hitting theaters this Friday. Again, check it out this Friday. Zachary, Zach, great to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Thank you
for having
me.
me.
Very much. Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.